In this video, I will attach 4 of my physical hard disks to my TrueNAS virtual machine in HyperV. There are 2 500GB hard drives and 2 1TB hard drives among those. Then I will create a mirrored storage pool, so my data stays protected even if I lose a hard disk. In addition, I'll walk through configuring users and permissions so they can use SMB Shares to access the storage. Stick around until the end, because I'm going to walk you through how I set up various TrueNAS checks to monitor the health of my hard drives automatically, and how to take snapshots of our data. So let's get started. I have already prepared a new virtual machine with TrueNAS installed and then did some basic configuration. There is no hard disk attached to this machine yet. First, let's create the 500GB storage pool. I will open HyperV Manager and attach 2 500GB physical hard disks. Now let's create the storage pool. I will navigate to Storage tab and click on Create Pool. And here you can see we have only one unassigned disk, and the other one is showing here with the storage pool name we previously used. Remember, we created a striped storage pool for testing. We use this hard disk. Even though this is a new machine, we can still import the storage pool, just like we can attach a hard disk from one machine to another. Let's see how we can do that. To import the storage pool, let's go to Storage tab and click on Import Pool. Here we can see that storage pool is available in the drop-down. So let's select it and click on Import. It will take some time to import. Just to mention, while we created this storage pool, we did not encrypt the data, so we will still be able to use this pool without any configuration backup. We've successfully imported the storage pool. You can see that public dataset we created in the last video still exists. But there are some permission issue and the user does not exist. As you can see, we cannot convert this storage layout with 2 hard disks, so I will go ahead and delete this and create a new one. Now to delete this pool, let's go to Storage and click on this Export or Disconnect button. I will check all these options to delete all the data and confirm. Now it's deleted, so let's proceed with our actual setup. I will create a new pool. I would like to keep the same name. Now we have 2 unassigned disks. For the layout this time, we will choose Mirror. I find Mirror to be the appropriate choice for my setup. For Mirror, we need 2 identical hard disks. All data will be copied to both the hard disk. Also, as an additional benefit, we will get combined read-write speed of 2 hard disks at the same time. If we lose one hard disk, we can just replace it with a new one, and we will not lose any of our data. If we lose both hard disks at the same time, then the entire data is lost. But for a home server, that is very unlikely. Both the disks are automatically selected, but in case if it is not, we can select it from this window. I will save this selection. Let's save and go to Review tab. You can also inspect the VDEV before creating the pool. Everything looks good to me. Let's proceed with creating the pool. Our mirrored storage pool is ready. Let's start by creating the datasets. I will create 2 datasets for this storage pool. Let me create those quickly. By mistake, I created a child dataset. I will quickly remove it and create a new dataset by selecting the storage pool. Now we have two datasets ready to use. Let's create the users who can access this dataset. My plan is to create two users, one for everyone in my LAN, the public user, and another for my personal use where I will save all my downloaded ISOs and setups. For that, let's go to Credentials tab and select Local Users. Let me create both the users quickly. So we have created the users. Now we need to create the SMB shares with proper permissions. I will go to Shares tab and click on Add Windows SMB Shares. Here we will choose the dataset to share and click on Save. We need to configure the ACL. Let's quickly configure it. I will enable auto start of SMB service. Let's select and apply proper owner and group and save the access control list. We are done for this dataset. Let me do the same for the other one. We need to restart the SMB service to make these changes, and rest of it will be same. Now we have completed all configuration. Let's test if we can map these as network drives. I will go to Windows File Browser and try to map the Downloads network drive. This has the same credentials as my current system, so I do not need to provide any details except the network path. We can access the network drive without any issue. Now let's try to map the public network drive. For this, I will need to provide different credentials. Looks like we cannot access the same network location with different users. To solve this issue, we will have to add another IP address to TrueNAS, and then we will map this network drive to that IP address. To give TrueNAS an additional IP address, we will have to go to Network tab and edit the current network interface. Here we will add an alias, then enter another IP. I will give it 192.168.0.4, and the subnet is 24. Let's save it. Now to activate this, we will have to click on Test Changes and confirm it. Click on Save Changes to properly activate the settings. Now if we try to connect to this new IP address, we should be able to connect without any issue. We can access both the dataset with different credentials. I have two 1 terabyte hard disk. I want to do similar setup for those as well. We will go to HyperV and add these hard disks. Now let's log into TrueNAS. I have copied all my data to this storage pool, which we created previously. You can see it is already 92% utilized. So now I can clear the data from the 1 terabyte hard disk and create a ZFS pool. I kept everything in the downloads dataset for now. I am planning to move the public dataset to the new storage pool. So I will remove the public SMB share first. Then I will delete the dataset. Now let's go to Storage tab to create the new storage pool. The creation process is same. We have created this new storage pool. Now let's create some datasets. We are done with datasets. It's time to create the SMB shares. We already have the users, so let's quickly create the SMB shares with proper permissions. We are done with our dataset and permission setup. It is time to configure all the awesome features TrueNAS offers. For that, let's go to Data Protection tab. Here we can see 2 scrub tasks are already set up for the 2 storage pools. A scrub task in TrueNAS is a scheduled disk maintenance task. It automatically scans data on a pool to identify data integrity issues. Scrubs can detect data corruption caused by hardware issues or network transfers. It can also provide early alerts of disk failure. This is already turned on by default, so we do not need to worry about that. Let's check the Smart Test feature. It stands for Self-Monitoring, Analysis, and Reporting Technology. It is a standard way to monitor and test disks for problems in TrueNAS. I will set up a short and a long smart test. For that, we can click here on Add, then choose All Disk and select Short Test. Then select Run It Weekly. This will run every week on Sunday at 12 a.m. Actually, this system does not run 24/7. So for me, I will like to choose a custom time. I have set it to every Sunday at 2 p.m. I am pretty sure that my system will be online at this time. Now let's create a long test in a similar way. This test takes really long time, so I think monthly once is good for me. I will choose the first day of each month at 4 p.m. Now let's check the snapshot feature of TrueNAS. I really like this feature, and this is the actual reason I started using TrueNAS. With this feature, even if we mesh things up, we can roll back to previous version. For each dataset, we can choose for how many days we want to keep the snapshots. Let's click on Add button. Here we can choose the specific dataset. We can set the lifetime of the snapshots. After that time period, the snapshot will be automatically removed and the space will be released. These snapshots are just the changes we made to the file, so they're very small size. Here we can set how frequently snapshots are to be taken. Let me quickly set up different snapshot settings for each dataset. All snapshots are set now. It will start taking snapshot from the specified time. If this video was helpful for you, don't forget to let us know in the comment section. We're going to come up with more exciting videos on TrueNAS. If you're interested, make sure to subscribe to our channel.